Welcome to the Regula Young Group's Seller Series. In this episode, Stacy and I will talk about what happens next when an offer is received. Hi, Stacy.
Hi. How are you?
Good, and you?
I'm good.
Good. When a seller receives an offer, what's the first thing they should understand before reacting?
I think that they need to be made aware of the new offer to purchase. I've been going over it with sellers ahead of time, like a blank one. Just
Right.
explain it to them. It's intimidating.
Yeah, there's a lot to it now.
They need to understand conditions and clauses. Well, that's what we're there to explain to them, but having a bit of an idea of what it all means ahead of time is helpful.
Yes, I like to go over it all ahead of time. I also like to make sure that they understand that offers have a deadline, that we can't just sit on it until we decide.
No.
Yeah. So, yeah, those types of things. What is the process for dealing with an offer to purchase for sellers?
Like step by step, or like when we get the offer?
Yeah.
Well, we have to go through it, and then we can decide if we want to counter or not counter, accept or reject. I don't recommend just flat out rejecting it. Countering is good, and then we have to explain, how countering works and what that looks like, and timelines. It's kind of, if you're not in a bidding war, it's good to give people like overnight to think on it, and then once the offer is accepted, the next step is getting the deposit, which is our responsibility, but just so they know what's happening. And
Right.
then conditions. So at this point, the buyer is going to most likely have a financing condition, so it'll get submitted to their mortgage broker or financial institution of choice. And then we will book a home inspection if they requested one, or like their agent will book one, and be prepared to get out for like 3 hours or so.
Right.
And then, and no, you do not get to keep that deposit if they do not fulfill their conditions. That is not how that works, despite people trying.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. What other responsibilities do the sellers have once an offer is accepted conditionally? Yeah, they have to give access to the house for home inspection, possibly an appraisal, answer any questions for insurance,
Water tests.
water tests. Yeah.
The listing agent should be doing a water test ahead of time, but a lot of times they don't.
Right.
And also, the buyer's agent, if they're doing the water test, should have some experience doing it. Some agents will request that the listing agent does it. Because I know how to do it, I prefer to do it, but
I hear you. Yeah. There is also now a service that provides that service. Like I know Jeremy provides it, and Southeast Lab provides that service. So I think if I was the listing agent and I hadn't already done it, because I always do it before I list, but but if I would suggest to a buyer's agent to use those services if they're not comfortable doing it. Just because there are a lot of things that can go wrong. I had a buyer's agent last year take it during the home inspection without telling us, which is fine. But what we would have likely told them is to not use the specific bathtub tap, because that tub had not ever been used in the several years that they lived there. So not only was it never used, it was never cleaned. So it failed by a huge amount, and just by taking it from a different tap, it passed, right?
Yeah, and you should be taking it from a hose, not a hose, but a hose tap.
Right, an exterior tap if possible, or right from the pressure tank. Right? Yeah, right from the pressure tank if possible.
Yeah, that's
as close to the well source as possible.
Also, if they're doing a water test and they're using that during the home inspection, should that not be a condition?
It was a condition. They just hadn't told us that they were going to take it while they were there.
Oh,
Because we would have, like, my client had previously taken it from the kitchen tap and
yeah,
it passed. So,
yeah,
so when it came back failed, I mean, we were surprised, but also not surprised because that plumbing was likely what caused it to fail. Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, um, so what usually happens if an inspection doesn't go well?
If it doesn't go well, typically there's one of two things that could happen. The buyer will back out because it's just too much for them, or they will renegotiate price, or they'll ask for things to be fixed. Um, if I was a buyer's agent, I would be telling the buyers to fix it themselves, because if you want things done right, do it yourself.
Yeah.
Or control who you're going to hire. And if they do back out, your house now goes back on the market and the deposit is returned to the buyers, because they did not fulfill their conditions. So the only reason they get to keep that deposit is if the buyers decide to back out randomly after conditions are met.
Right. Yeah. If a deal falls apart or needs an extension, what happens next?
So sellers get a little stressed about extensions, but it's not the end of the world. Often, if banks need an appraisal and it wasn't, we weren't made aware ahead of time, sometimes the lenders don't know that they're gonna, CMHC is gonna want an appraisal or something. That's typically why we need that type of extension for a financing condition. And that's normally, once you're at that point, everything is looking good in financing. They just need the appraisal. So you're waiting for that. So we would fill out extension request, have it signed by buyers and sellers, try to keep it as short as possible because your house is off the market. Well, not off the market, but it's showing pending on the realtor end. It is showing active still on the buyer's end. And then if it was because of the home inspection, well, depending what they found, you might want to fix it before you put it back on the market.
Right. It can lead to some disclosure issues.
Yeah. Adjust the disclosure statement because now you're aware. And reach out to everybody who looked at it already. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I see extensions a lot. I mean, especially in new builds, but even in resale, there's lots of extensions happening.
Yeah.
For rurally, I see a lot of extensions happening for sale of a house. Yeah, or water sample.
Yeah.
The best laid plans, sometimes you just can't get them. You write an offer on a Thursday and you better give yourself all the way till the next Friday, or you're going to be asking for an extension.
And sometimes they want an extension after the inspection because they want to bring in like a designated professional for a certain, say like or electrician or something.
Exactly. Yeah, I have one that I feel like needs an electrical inspection because I feel like it has knob and tube, but you can't see any of it. I think it's in the attic.
Well, I have not. Somewhere that I got as like a sample, so I can show people what it is.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. That's awesome.
Took it home from a home inspection.
With permission. Yeah. So why is confidentiality so important during the sale?
Well, the sale price should never be disclosed until it's actually sold. And when they're doing conditions, it's not sold, it's pending sale. So if I disclose that price to the next agent over, now they know what they can potentially offer for it, for the house, and get it. And then you're risking leaving money on the table from the next buyer.
Yeah, you're risking any negotiations for the future.
Yeah. Not only is it against the rules, it's not effective.
Yeah, that's right. So even as a seller, like when you're talking to your family and saying, "Oh, we got an offer, it's conditionally sold," it's best not to tell anyone.
No, don't run around telling people your house is sold. It's pending sale. Conditions can fall through, and especially if it's an agent other than yourself that wrote the offer, because you don't know if their buyer's pre-approved. I do ask as a listing agent for pre-approval, try to get the letter, but you don't have as much info as you would
When
representing
it's your own client. Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for listening. And if you found this helpful, please subscribe, like, and follow. Thanks, and
Thank
we'll see
you.
you on the next one.